This may be a controversial take, but the modern control scheme in Street Fighter 6 is the best thing to happen to fighting games in the last decade. Let me explain. I grew up in the 90s peak fighting game era. Everyone was playing, the arcades were absolutely packed, and you didn't even have to go to the arcade to play fighting games. There were kids crowded around cabinets literally everywhere. You could play Street Fighter at the grocery store. One of my personal favorite places to play Mortal Kombat 2 was actually a convenience store down the street from me. Like, all the neighborhood kids would come and the competition was just bonkers. Fighting games were everywhere, they were super duper popular, and there was a lot of social pressure not to be ass. No one wanted to be the punching bag of the group. You at least wanted to be able to win a few rounds every now and again. My friends were all really, really good. I could kind of hold my own, but they'd always end up beating me. Shout out Devo. Shout out DJ Sticks. There was a ton of excitement surrounding the genre. There was new franchises popping off all the time. We had Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Virtua Fighter, all the Marvels. We used to play this game called Bushido Blade on the original PlayStation, which was really, really fun and really frustrating, actually. There was like one-hit kills in it. It was actually kind of goofy. We didn't know it at the time, but my old roommate and I used to get fiercely competitive at basically the two greatest fighting games ever made. Every night after school or after work, we would show down in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Third Strike. Literally all night long. And just a testament to how big and influential fighting games were, Third Strike gave us the greatest esport moment of all time.
Rare footage of Daigo actually angry. Just its turtle style. Overcome Rao. Now on the verge of putting Daigo down 1-0.
There were some really big shifts in the overall gaming landscape in the mid-2000s, mostly due to the fact that every game started to go online. And this left the fighting genre in a really weird spot because, number one, the netcode just wasn't good enough to kind of handle, moment-to-moment punch-kick, split-second reflex kind of gameplay. And, most people's internet at the time in, 2007, 2008, really wasn't that great. It's at this point that other genres with kind of like more online-friendly kind of gameplay really took off. Of course, MMOs, shooters, etc., and it kind of left fighting games behind in the dust. The games themselves were still incredible, but the general audience, the taste had kind of shifted away from it. And so now the developers were crafting experiences for kind of a shrinking but very passionate, hardcore community. Games started getting deeper, richer, more involved. There were more systems added to it. Frankly, the games got a whole lot better, but as they were gaining complexity, they were also losing kind of like the larger audience base. And now the growing pains are kind of over. The netcode's spectacular. You can play them online. Actually, playing them online is a really wonderful experience, but they've evolved so much over the last, 15 years. Fighting games are incredibly fast-paced and complex and really difficult to get into. Even for someone like me who grew up playing them, it's crazy hard to jump back in and just have fun. Which is a total shame too, because the last few eras have had some all-time classics like MK9, Street Fighter 4, Guilty Gear. These games are absolutely incredible, but they're so incredibly difficult for new players to pick up and play. And this is where the modern control scheme in Street Fighter 6 comes in like a frickin' hero. I'll leave it to the pros to decide if modern is balanced or not. That's really not my expertise. But one thing's for certain, they provide an incredible amount of accessibility for new and lapsed players such as myself. With modern, there's no massive move list to memorize or timing to consider. You just jump in and engage with the core game right away. There's no barrier between the moves you see in your head and what's happening on screen. I absolutely love them. You can quickly learn the basics of a character, understand their primary strengths and weaknesses, and just immediately jump in and start mixing it up with people online. And one of the best parts of Modern is that it's just a stepping stone. It's just a quick, beginner-friendly jumpstart, but it doesn't really offer you a path to mastery. The damage is nerfed, the move list is gutted, and there's pretty much a hard cap on your progress if you're playing on Modern. The only thing that Modern is strictly better at is, of course, one-button supers, but think how much you have to give up in order to get one-button supers. If you actually want to get good at Street Fighter 6, eventually you're going to have to graduate to classic controls. But Modern offers all types of players an easy way to jump in and have fun. I get it though, I mean, it's scrubby. It's got to be super annoying to lose to, but you know, let's face a hard truth here. If you're a series veteran and you're dropping games to an iron rank person using Modern control scheme, you might have to head back into the lab for some training, my dude. It's not Modern, it's you. Yeah, it doesn't feel good to lose to somebody in a cheap way, and Modern has a tendency to feel super cheap, but it's also a huge step forward in keeping the Street Fighter community healthy and open to new players. And for you guys and gals rocking Modern, don't feel bad about it. Play however you want and just have fun. If you grow beyond Modern, that's awesome. If you love it and you just want to keep rocking it, that's cool too. Don't pay any attention to the loudmouths out there talking crap about you. We all got to start somewhere, and Capcom has given us all a powerful new tool to find our strength. Personally, I hope Modern is here to stay, and other franchises take note and offer, you know, some level of accessibility option to be able to welcome new players into the fold, and, you know, like myself, you know, reintroduce lapsed players to some of the new mechanics that have evolved over the last couple of generations of fighting games. The genre is alive and thriving and wonderful, and giving people new ways to experience it and inviting them to the party is just a wonderful thing, and something I think we could all get behind. I know it's not going to give you much consolation when you get fucking one-button comboed, but at the end of the day, it's a very healthy thing. And you know, there is a really fantastic single-player campaign as well, and Modern opens up playing the kind of Grand Theft Street Fighter single-player campaign to a whole new audience that otherwise wouldn't even be touching a Street Fighter game at all. That in and of itself is also something that's really awesome, as long as they stay on top of it and ensure that Modern doesn't actually erode any of the competitive integrity of the franchise. Then I think it's just a huge W across the board. But hey, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to call me an idiot in the comments below, and have an awesome day. I will see you again very, very, very soon.